is the perfection of imperfection, looking at the imperfections of the human body and presenting them in a beautiful way. My target audience for this piece is probably for young people struggling with their identity and the idea of perfection. As a teenager myself, I know that self-confidence about the so-called ugly and abnormal aspects of the body is a massive issue, and it's really a point of connection for an audience. This body of work aims to take these imperfections and present them in such a way that the audience knows they're not alone in their insecurities. I would hope that they feel comfortable, reassured, and maybe even inspired to accept their differences as marks of individuality. This can be communicated to the audience by taking focused and select photos of these imperfections, but using lighting and viewpoint in such a way that it makes them seem beautiful. The process that I went to arrive at this topic was not a straightforward one. I originally had the idea to photograph children, but as I took more and more photos of different aspects of childhood, I found that my topic was way too broad, especially when I took them into tutorials and compared my work to others and talked to some of the tutors. I realised that the topic was a bit too wide and that I needed to narrow it down. As I was looking at some of my photos that I'd taken of my young cousin, I became fascinated with the imperfections that close-up photos could bring up. So things like crooked teeth and blemished skin, freckles and things like that. So basically my idea was born out of a fascination for the abnormal creating the individual. So content-wise, I was able to use myself for a number of the photos. Broken toes from dancing and scarred legs from being inherently clumsy, freckles on my face and over large bottom lip, things like that. I used a tripod for if I couldn't take the photo myself, and I also ended up using a tripod for some of the photos that I took with darker lighting. I wanted to shoot the piece in black and white because I wanted to focus on the lines and shape of the body more so than the colour. I didn't want the photos to be noisy or have loud points of focus. I wanted a soft and quiet body of work that was unassuming as the subject of their content. Therefore, I only had maybe one soft point of light focus in each of my photos that illuminated the body enough to cast shadows to emphasize things like scars, bruises, and uneven surfaces. I found the process outlined in the miniature sheet really helpful throughout the process of this assignment. Things like going through, finding discrepancies, deciding which ones I wanted to reshoot. I found myself reshooting quite a bit, which I really enjoyed. I've really enjoyed this task so far and definitely look forward to improving and elaborating